For the first time, the implications of Ironsi's statement at the party dawned on Gowan, and he became suspicious of Ironsi and even his Igbo girlfriend Edith. He later found that his suspicion of Edith was misplaced. However, given his suspicion then, he quietly dressed up and went to the battalion headquarters to see Ironsi. Ironsi then briefed him on the coup. Gowan then turned to Captain Adamu to know if he had informed the brigade commander, Brigadier Memalari, of the situation. He was informed that the telephone lines were out of order and that they could not contact anyone. He, that's Gowan, tried the telephone himself and found it was a worthless effort. After his briefing, please listen. After his briefing, General Ironsi gave orders to the effect that it would take 2 hours before the first unit could get into town. This was the point at which Gowan really reacted. So people have organized a coup. We are all here now. Let's do something. Or guy is now saying it will take us about 2 hours to even get anything sorted. Did he know about it or not? You can make up your. Of course, he knew about it. You don't have to make up your mind. Let me tell you, he knew about it. What were you supposed to be doing for 2 hours? They already have a head start. Let's continue. This was the point at which Gowan really reacted. He asked about the approximate time the coup took place and found that the exercise had begun at 3 a.m. So this was about 5 a.m. already. Now you're saying they should wait till 7. He could not understand why it should take 2 more hours before the rebels should be tracked down. He then turned to his officers and tartly said, "These people have got 2 hours ahead of us and we are giving them 2 more. I give every one of you 15 to 20 minutes to get ready." He then turned to the general and said, "I am going." So the question is this: why did the general say wait for 2 hours? If he did not know anything about this stuff, was it trying to buy time for the coup plotters? When you put all these things together, it's called that Ironsi was not a hero of the coup, like he stopped any coup. He didn't stop any coup. He knew about the coup. And that's not even the end. No, we're going to be going from, we're reading about 4 or 5 books at the same time right now, but you're going to enjoy this because it shows you the scene. Back to the book by Gowon and Njoku. By the way, somebody came in the other day and said Larry was a woman. He's not a woman, he's a man. He was the head of the Biafran army later. So Gowon and Njoku was a colonel in the Nigerian army. And he was in the room with both Ironsi and Gowan. And this is what he said. The book is called A Tragedy Without Heroes. This is page 19. It says, "But they said they would not kill anyone," the general said. "That obviously was an admission of foreknowledge of the coup." Jack looked at me. None of us said a word. From this day forward, I was to lose Jack's confidence from all indications. He thereafter bore the impression or the notion that I knew about the coup beforehand. Even though we visited each other daily between February and July 1966, Jack never forgave nor confided in me. I did everything within my power to correct this notion because I believed that the unity of the country, the success of the military regime, depended more on Jack and I working together in mutual trust and confidence than any other pair. The general officer commanding asked for paper and pen. Who is the GOC? Ironsi. These I provided. He wrote down key points, KPs, and very important personalities, VIPs, to which troops were to be sent for protection. This included the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, NBC, the Parliament House, Post and Telecommunications, P&T, the Prime Minister, the Inspector General, the Brigade Commander, number 11 Thompson Avenue, and so on. In addition, he listed some of the officers he wanted apprehended. This included Major Ifajuna, Captain Oji, and Lieutenant Nwokocha. He had lost his nerves. His hands were shaking. His writing could not be read without difficulty. I asked him to have some coffee. He was grateful and coffee was ordered for him. Jack and I did not take the coffee. During a conversation, the general officer commanding repeated his earlier statement, quote, "But they said there would be no bloodshed," end quote. He knew about the coup. He made this statement twice. This is Gowon and Njoku telling us what happened in the room. Before we go, I'm going to tell you what happened in the room again according to David Ejo, because another person came into that room. I'm going to tell you what happened when he got in there. Why are we doing this? We're trying to understand what really happened. We're trying to really get it. So people just keep like, oh, he didn't know. That's why I was made the head officer. It's just nonsense. You see, when you look at the book by Bengbule, the Nigerian Five Majors, there was something he said. Again, if you remember what we saw in Ademoyega's book, right? When he came out into barracks and saw Okafor said he had lost his guys, right? He said, I have just lost my command. The question is, did he really lose his command, or was it the one who actually informed Ironsi? Why am I saying that? Because of what's in this other book, Nigerian Five Majors by Bengbule. What is here? It says by far the most formidable obstacle between the coup executors and success was the unanticipated element of treachery. Oh my God. In the history of this country, those who call people treacherous, those who call people betrayers and traitors, have shown it over and over again that it's like a thing where they come from. Let me read something to you here. It says, but by far the most formidable obstacle between the coup executors and success was the unanticipated element of treachery that manifested itself in the course of the nocturnal operation. In that regard, and to begin with, who is this one now? If you know you don't have anything sensible to write, why not just listen and be blessed? I'll mute you of 30 seconds. Hopefully that will help you. Just listen. You don't have to type. If you're not going to type anything that will help anybody, just keep it to yourself. God bless you. Back to this. So there was an unanticipated element of treachery. In that regard, and to begin with, both Major Don Okafor, one of the primary guys. You're looking for why we call it Igbo coup. This is why. Major Don Okafor and Captain Ogbo Oji, the latter of whom, that's Oji himself, was Ironsi's kinsman from Umuahia. They are taking a stand against any step that might embody the killing of Ironsi, the very same man who at the most crucial stage of the operation called out the troops of the 2nd Infantry Battalion with orders to quell the rebellion. So what did you see here? You see here that there's a huge possibility that Don Okafor and Captain Oji reached out to Ironsi before the coup even happened. And by the way, when you look at what this man Gowon and Njoku said, you discover that one of the names that this guy mentioned that they must bring to him was Captain Oji. He said he wrote down key points and very important personalities to which troops were to be sent, and then I read all those names, and then he said in addition, he listed some of the officers he wanted apprehended. This included Major Ifajuna, Captain Oji, and Lieutenant Nwokocha. Captain Oji was from Umuahia, just like Ironsi, and he was the one, according to Bengbule, who must have been responsible for the treachery. There's nothing like he didn't know about it. Everywhere we looked, Ironsi knew about it. Everywhere you looked, you saw Ironsi. There's one more other source I said I was going to read to you. Let me read to you from David Ejo's own account.